All right, so we're going to record. Let me just make sure everything's going. All right, cool. So my name is Bridget Greco, and I am an area manager with Arbonne International. And I just wanted to kind of jump on here and with Noelle and Rachel and share with you guys a little bit about our testimonies and what this 30 Days Healthy Living program is, and kind of like why we did it and why this is such an amazing opportunity to get involved with. It was just about a year ago that I started my own health journey, and with this very same program that we're going to share tonight. So my hope is to kind of give everybody like an inside scoop as, you know, why the Arbonne 30 is creating such a movement right now, and why so many people are turning to it. So I just wanted to introduce myself, and I'm going to pass it over to Noelle now so she can share a little bit, about her journey. But really quickly before I do, I just want to say that we always get asked, why, what is it, what's different about Arbonne, and, who should do this program? And just really simply before we pass it over to Noelle is everybody should do this program. Anyone who eats food, honestly, and for anyone who wants to look and feel their best. So as she's talking for the next few minutes, just take a hard look in the mirror and ask yourself, do I actually feel my best? And I'm going to switch it over to Noelle.
All righty. Thank you. Thank you. So yeah, I'm just going to kind of start from the beginning of my whole Arbonne journey, how I ended up where I am right now today. So I'll start off by saying that for those of you who do know me, know that I am obsessed with health and wellness. When I think that's one of the first things that comes to people's minds when they think of me is oh, she's obsessed with exercising, health and wellness, da 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 da. So I want to start off by saying that I literally have tried everything. Anything that comes out that's new and fresh, I'm the first one to jump on board. It doesn't take much. I have a background in exercise science, so you would think I would be a little more careful with the programs that I try and all that. But no, I'm just okay, if this is promising weight loss, I'm going to jump on board. So I was a beach body coach before. So I did that for 2 years. I've tried everything. I've tried starving myself. I've tried over exercising. I've tried diet pills. I've tried anything that promised weight loss, I would try. So very damaging to your mind, letting yourself go through those processes, terrible for you. So nothing that I've ever tried and anything that promised was a 30-day challenge or whatever, nothing ever stuck. And I was always a yo-yoer from day one, yo-yo up and down. So the biggest thing that stuck out to me about this program was lifestyle. You would always see that being advertised with Arbonne is how it's a lifestyle change. So back in actually July, I noticed one of my best friends, Jocelyn, was doing Arbonne. And she actually reached out to me because her and I are cut from the same cloth. We've been through the same types of things with our bodies. So she reached out to me and she was telling me about this and saying how she loved it and how she feels like a new person and just how she was able to stick to it so much. And she was never able to stick to anything in the past. And I know that because I was always there with her in the same boat. So she mentioned it to me right before I was about to move to Tennessee. And I wanted to do it, but I didn't. I thought of every excuse in the book, like we always do, like all of us do, not to do it. And my reasons at the time were because I want to save money because I'm moving. I'm making a huge move. And also because when I get to Tennessee, I'm not going to be focused on that. I need to focus on adjusting to what's around me, so on and so forth. So that was my reason at the time for not doing it. When I did move, one of my promises to myself was to start to go gluten and dairy free. The reason being not for my weight, but for my chronic illness. I have lupus. So what lupus does is it basically attacks the healthy tissues in your body, because it sees it as foreign invaders, and it causes inflammation throughout your whole body. It causes joint pain. It causes fatigue. I can't say that enough. Fatigue, like to the extreme. Imagine having a hangover with the flu. That can be lupus a lot of the time. So I knew I had to make some sort of change. So that was one of my things moving to Tennessee, is to start focusing on that. So I did cut out gluten and dairy back in October, I believe it was. And it worked. Like, I started losing weight, noticing less inflammation, starting to feel a little better. But then I went home for a quick visit back to Pennsylvania, and I got back on the gluten and dairy train. And then it spiraled out of control into December, and I gained all the weight back plus some. And again, with lupus, it's all about inflammation. So like, I literally in between like 15 pounds up and down, like all the time. And that's so not good for the body. It's so bad for your body. So then finally, one of my other friends, Kayleen, started doing Arbonne as well. And she would not even care if I said this about her, but she's not someone who loves the gym or loves to diet or anything like that. She's not. So for her to be doing this and advocating for it and pushing for it, I was like, okay, this is legit. This is so legit. So I reached out to her, and she could tell you that I had no money at the time. Like, that was my biggest concern, is I had no money. But I knew if I wanted to live my life, I had to get my health in check in one way or another. And I knew that that having that sorry, I saw that little thing pop up. I knew that diet, and me with my exercise science background, I know that diet is key. That seriously controls everything. So I literally took the leap of faith again with no money at all. And I decided to do Arbonne. And I'll tell you, in the first week that I did my 30-day cleanse, the bloat was like gone. There was the bloat just started disappearing, and my stomach became flatter, like just in a week. And good. I keep going. Okay. So aside from that, I noticed on day 3 that I was able to just hop out of bed with all the energy in the world. I'm not a morning person. Anyone who knows me, I'm not a morning person. So I was able to do that, which was huge. Like, it seems so little to some people, but to me it was huge. So that was one of my biggest takeaways just in the first week. So then as January continued, I just kept losing the weight. Clothes are fitting better. I just started feeling comfortable in my own skin. I was noticing my joint pain was going away. The energy was huge. That was, again, I'll keep saying it over and over again, the energy. And yeah, so that was my January. But then going into February, going into that 80-20 lifestyle, I thought that, okay, 30 days is up. I'm going to start gaining weight back, especially even if I'm sticking to that 80-20 and I'm still doing good. I figured I would start gaining some of that weight back. I didn't, though. Like, I was actually continuing to lose weight throughout February because I adopted all those habits, and I didn't want to eat the bad foods because I knew how it would make me feel. I was getting more in tune with my body, and I think that's something that people have to realize is hold on, sorry, this chat thing's coming up. They need to realize that I completely lost my train of thought. But no, basically,
it's like a lifestyle. It's less of like trying, like it just happens naturally type of thing.
Yeah, exactly. Right. And I think a lot of people are scared because, like me, they thought they think they're going to gain that weight back. They're going to spend this money to do this 30-day program, and then they're just it's going to be like everything else that they've tried. You know, they're going to gain the weight back, and that's going to be that. but with the accountability that you have and the tools that you have that you're given and all the products that you're given, it's literally impossible to fail. And it's impossible not to make it a lifestyle after you do that 30 days, because you don't want to live another way. There's no other way to live after you do that. So February, again, losing weight. Coming into March, I got really sick. Again, at the beginning of this, I thought I was going to cure my lupus. That's not realistic. But if you do have an autoimmune disease or some sort of chronic illness, you can control the symptoms by product like with Arbonne and cutting out these processed foods that you're eating all the time. You can control the symptoms, help your symptoms, alleviate your symptoms. So again, I did go through a flare up in March, and it was really, really bad and scary. And normally that would really set me behind, and I would end up going into that vicious cycle again and start gaining weight back and just completely disregarding my diet because other things are more important. But what I realize now is that my diet is what's helping me. So to say that it's not important is ridiculous. That's what it stems from. That's what wellness stems from, is your diet. So I was able, I didn't get to focus on like meal prepping and completely cutting out this, cutting out that, but I had my Arbonne products to supplement my recovery after this hospital visit, and I was able to not let my diet spiral out of control like I normally would. And literally I have Arbonne to thank for that. So that was another huge takeaway since doing this program. So basically my advice to people who are on the fence about it, I know the two biggest things that I hear is no time and no money. They're the two biggest things. And I could tell you to look at me. No time. Since I've moved to Tennessee, my life has been the biggest. It basically spiraled out of control. Like, I had no idea what I was doing. I was here, I was there, I had a million different part-time jobs. Like, I didn't have time at all. But Arbonne actually made my life so much more convenient, and I had a plan there in action. So I was able just to follow this plan every day and not even think about what I was eating. Everything was right there, right in front of me. Yeah. You have all the tools. And then money, well, I didn't have any money. Literally, I spent like my last dime on Arbonne. I'm not even kidding. I took leap of faith. I ended up saving money throughout the month because I wasn't going out for my coffees. I wasn't stopping for food. I wasn't going out to eat as much. I wasn't drinking. So I ended up saving money. And also, you have to realize, like, your health isn't something that you should not want to spend money on. Your health is the most important thing that you have. And take it from someone who does have an illness that I can't control, and my health always isn't in check. Like, if you have your health right now, that is the best thing to have. And you cannot be your best self unless you have your health, and you can't do what you want to do unless you have your health. So instead of keeping these bad habits and eating these processed foods and, not focusing on yourself, and eventually you're going to end up with a chronic illness or some sort of illness if you keep going down that path. So you need to say, when do I stop? And now's probably the best time to do it. Don't allow yourself to get sick. Just don't allow yourself to get sick. And I can't say that enough. Again, for someone who has an illness that actually can control my life, don't let that happen. So that's my biggest takeaway from Arbonne. I've been doing it for 3 months now, so that's all I really have for you. But I would definitely say another big takeaway is my two biggest takeaways from Arbonne. No, three biggest takeaways are I went 60 days without being bloated. Okay. 60 days without having a bloated feeling. Now, I know as us girls, like, we feel bloated all the time. Like, and We hate being bloated. I didn't feel bloated for 60 days. Like, I think that's enough reason to do it right there. Also, the energy levels. None of us have enough energy. I literally would drink like cups of coffee after cups of coffee, like disgustingly. You don't need to do that. It's all natural energy. It's awesome. And then 3 is, again, I'm going to say it again, your freaking health. Like, take control of your health now while you have the chance. It's so huge. So yeah, that's what I got for you. So I'm going to pass it back over to Bridget.
I don't think I need to say anything else. I mean, like you said it all, and it's so powerful too, because like take it from someone like you who you're admitting, I didn't have time, I didn't have money, I don't even have health, and like you jumped into this not knowing what you were getting yourself into, and it ended up changing your life. So
Yeah.
you can't live with excuses every day, or nothing's ever going to change. So that's basically like why you share Arbonne, is because you know that you're not alone out there, and you know that there's other people that through your experience you can help. So that's so powerful, and I'm just very thankful that this has helped you, and it has been part of your journey, and you can continue to help people. And really, like, anyone who ever has questions, just reach out to you, because it's just, you clearly know what you're talking about. You've been there. You've been through it all. So that's extremely powerful. And thanks for being so, open and talking about it, with us. So, and like you said, the reasons why someone would want to do it is headaches, excess weight, blood sugar issues, low energy, brain fog, bloating, constipation, feeling stressed, insomnia. Like, the list seriously goes on, and the benefits just are incredible. So don't let the excuses take over, and, just totally go for it. Like, the worst thing that would happen, or the only thing that you would tell yourself, is that you wish you started sooner. So I'm extremely, happy for both you and Rachel, like, for jumping into this. And yeah, I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording, because that was incredible. So thank you.